Hey, it's Ed. Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mask. I want to introduce to you a friend of mine, Vitaly Herasevich, physician, professor of anesthesiology at Mayo Clinic, and also just a great leader and an author. And we'll hear a little bit more about you. But Vitaly, welcome to Behind the Mask.
Thank you, Ed, and this is amazing. Yeah, thank you for invitation, and I'm happy to share wherever I know with you and your audience.
Yeah, so before we jump in, and really Behind the Mask is really about getting to know leaders, clinical leaders in our industry on more of the personal side. But before we get there, your professional background is super interesting. So can you share a little bit about who you are, your professional background, and your role at Mayo Clinic?
Yeah, that's definitely complicated. Like, my accent is definitely not from Minnesota. And on the background in history, I'm from Soviet Belarus, originally grew up in the Soviet time and did most of my education there. Before I get to medical school, I did physician assistant. And after finishing my school, I did my training in cardiology and interventional cardiology. My PhD actually not in any clinical informatics, it's in a interventional cardiology. Then, yeah, when I get to United States, I actually pretty long, and that's the only place where I live. Minnesota, I call home this for past 21 winter. And yeah, that's like much of my life was belonged to Mayo. And at Mayo, I did a little bit more education, which was Master of Science in Clinical Research, give me great education, which allow me connect those together. And yeah, that's much what I can tell. Yeah, I'm in the Department of Anesthesiology, and yeah, that's a like academic role, Professor of Anesthesiology and Medicine.
Yeah, and Vitaly, you also wrote a book, I think, with one of your colleagues there at Mayo, right?
Yes, that's a book what I wrote in America, but actually before that I wrote three another books back in Russian language.
Yeah, so I would probably have a problem trying to read those three for Belarus.
And that was a long time ago.
Yeah. No, that's great. And we had an opportunity to connect with one another. You were kind enough. You also run the clinical grand rounds at Mayo Clinic, and you were kind enough to have me out earlier this year. And we just had a great time, and I really appreciated your friendship and your collegiality. So thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, we want to jump in a little bit about learning more about who you are, how did you get to where you are, which we've covered a little bit already, and sort of where are you going or where are we going as an industry. So at what age did you know that you were a leader? Clearly you're a leader today. Was there a particular age or moment in time that you realized, oh, I think I'm a leader?
Let's see, that's I ask from perspective of clinical research. What is your definition of the leader?
Well, I think a leader is someone who has people following them.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's okay. That's probably first time when I experienced that was in my medical school. Um, in a medical school, there are like called society students, scientific society. There are kind of the every department they have students who do research, kind of the research, and I was like chair of this board, which lead student research in more than 60 departments in my medical university. That's I did like for past 3 years of the medical school. That's probably time when I experienced this first.
No, that's cool. What is one thing that your parents forced you to do when you were young and you were not very happy about it, but looking back in time, you're like, oh, I'm glad they made me do that.
Yeah, I think that yeah, they actually insist me not to get married in college. And the first year of the college, no. It's, you need to be a little bit more mature for that.
That's a good one. I got married early in college myself. So that would have been some good advice. What was the single biggest reason you chose healthcare as a career?
There would not be like single reason or so. I think, yeah, at some point I just want to be useful for people. And that was pretty good place and field when you can be useful for people, do something good, see results.
Yeah. Was there an age? Were you like a teenager, or before, were you super young, or when did you decide on becoming a doctor?
Not really. Yeah, that was last year of the school. Uh, at that time, it's a really bit different in like Belarus or so. At that time, you can apply only in one university at the time. You cannot apply to multiple university. You just decide where you go and apply. If you not accepted, you out. You miss year. And yeah, that was actually decision in my last year of the school to go to professional sport or go to get profession. And I told, okay, just probably like, get profession would be better.
What would have been the sport?
I did competitive Olympic rifle shooting. Was kind of on the competitive level to train further for some international competitions and so.
Very
But
cool. And do you still shoot today?
kind of, yeah. I had hiatus like for 30 years, and actually after COVID, yeah, start to train myself again, and kind of the interesting. I got to the very competitive level in a term of the. I mean, it's not what you're ready for some international stuff, but that's kind of competitive. And I told my friends. Tell your kids what you learn in teenager age stay with you no matter what. 30 years break, you get to the point very quickly back if you do something in your teenage age, yeah, especially sport.
Yeah, that's true. That's a sport you could do at a high level for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
What is one thing most of your coworkers don't know about you that you can share with us?
Oh, it's an easy one. Probably most people don't know what a big fan of the heavy metal and all this heavy music. Yeah.
What's one or two of your favorite bands?
There's Iron Maiden, In Flames. Yeah, there are many of them, and yeah, I'm fortunate to be on the concert of like most of the bands on my top list. Yeah, already. Yeah.
Well, I should have, had I known, I would have worn a different shirt, but I do have an MTV shirt on.
That's okay.
I had my earlier today, I was wearing like my AC/DC shirt.
Oh, yeah, that's yeah. I visit their concert. They are great performers. That's one of the greatest band.
What would you say is your defining moment where that sort of was a catalyst that reinforced your trajectory? Like, did something happen maybe when you were growing up or in medical school, or even while you're in Minnesota, that sort of continued you on your trajectory, or maybe changed your trajectory?
Oh yeah, that was moment like that. When I end up in United States, and that was like kind of the decision: go to back to clinical training, go to do all this medical training, fellowship, and so on. Then I learned what actually there are no EMR in United States. That was around 2003, 2004, and wow, how it could be. There are some like you can buy plane ticket electronically. You have like debit credit cards, financial transactions, and there are no EMR. How it could be. And because I was interested in like electronic systems before that in 1990s, that was aha moment for me. Oh, yeah, that's probably place to to fix, and that's actually changed a little bit of my trajectory. To yeah, and I started to involved in applied clinical informatics where I am.
So I know you're largely on the professorial side, but when's the last time that you cried?
Yeah, to be honest, I cannot recall. Maybe in kindergarten, yeah,
Yeah.
but I cannot recall exact moment.
What was something that you really wanted? Maybe this was related to kindergarten. What's something that you really wanted and you'd never got? I mean, it could be as an adult too, but was there ever like something you desired but just didn't happen?
Yeah, I'm very pragmatic and practical. I never wish anything what I cannot get. Yeah, you just like wish, yeah, what you can get. You know, that's very simple. I mean, yeah.
What about certainly this has happened to you where someone for any reason tried to hold you back? Could have been in education, could have been in sport, tried to hold you back, and how did you respond?
There are not the same situation. I can say, yeah, that's if something happen, you react based on the situation, based on the another uh, piece of equation or so. But probably universal response would be, you know, like in a rafting, you just hold, you move and paddle more hard on the side. That's probably more universal answer to that question.
Have you rafted much? Just curious.
No, no, not really. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
have experience of that. Yeah.
Some other time we'll talk about some rafting. Well, what's your biggest mistake? Like certainly along the way you had to make a mistake or two. What's the biggest one?
It's hard to say. Maybe it's not yet happened. You know, it's I don't know. It's like yeah, there are many mistakes we do like very often, but yeah, that's hard to call anything like you know which would be devastated or something like that. Yeah.
Tell me about the last time you either wrote a thank you card or received a thank you card. So not an email, but like an actual card.
Um, let me see. Okay, here it is. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a card. Yeah, that's yeah, usually receive this card. You usually we send card. Okay, that's like from you can see University Alabama. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah. I received this card because I did like letter of recommendation for promotion for yeah tenure track one of the physician in Department of Radiology in university. Yeah. Yes, yeah, that's a card. Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, I sent you a thank you card. That's very nice.
Yeah, but we send sometimes card and definitely, yeah, definitely New Year time and yeah, Christmas time. It's a time when you receive and send cards. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a card. Yeah.
Did you ever quit something and then later you sort of regret it? Like maybe it was a musical instrument if you were a kid or a sport or maybe something professional. Like you just quit and later on you were like, oh, I wish I would have stuck through it.
No.
No. That's good, right? You always like you already shared, you're sort of you have the personality and sort of the upbringing where you sort of knew what you wanted or you were led a certain direction and you weren't going to deviate from that, right? You were going to fulfill
Yeah.
that call. So,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you think what you're doing, especially if there are like you know big decisions. Yeah, this yeah, you just don't do big decisions based on the some impulse or something like
yeah.
that. Just, of course, small, yes, yeah, of course, yeah.
So as a professor, obviously you're training the next generation of leaders and clinicians. What's one thing you would tell them to really enjoy? You know how when we were, well, maybe not you, but for me, I was always rushing to grow older, to become older and to do more things. I was always in a rush and a hurry. What would you say to the next generation about where should they take their time?
Mastery. Yeah, you need to master whatever you do. You need to master, and probably not only master. Yeah, you need to have purpose.
Yeah.
That the combination of the mastery and purpose.
Yeah, that's good. And so you're still very young in your career, but let's fast forward another generation. What would you like to do in 20 years?
That's a hard one. I don't know. I mean, I want to continue do what I'm doing for a future. Of course, because we are in the technology field, in 20 years everything would change dramatically. I mean, if you look back 20 years ago, that was no Wi-Fi, no smartphones, no many things what we have now for granted. And 20 years, hard to say, but of course, yeah, we move. It's a quick moved field.
Yeah, I know, right? Between medicine and technology, I mean, you have two of the fastest moving fields, and they're combined in what you and I do. And so, yeah, so I think life turns over for us probably every 3 to 5 years,
Oh
let
yeah.
alone 20 years. What about on the personal side? Are there any major goals that you have in the next couple of years? Climb Mount Everest or master the trumpet. I don't know what it might be, but do you have some other personal goals that you're chasing after?
Um, uh, Again, I'm not a person who kind of say, oh, that's a big goal. This is where I want to be. But yeah, for objectives, for objectives, yeah, probably want to travel places where I never been. And there are many places where I never visit or so. That's a probably objective rather
Yeah,
than the goal.
yeah, yeah. What's one country if I were to come visit you in January and we decided, hey, let's go take a week journey someplace we've never been, where might we go?
January it's a winter. Okay. Yeah, I really want to have some photography tour in a winter in Iceland.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just going around places in Iceland. Yeah, because there are very different environment from anything what I know.
Yeah. That'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a very beautiful island for sure. What concert? Let me ask you a same question I asked earlier, but different context. What band, what rock and roll band do you wish you had seen in concert before they broke up because you never got to see them?
There are one band, one person. He's passed away. Many years ago. Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah.
He was great vocalist who was part of the Black Sabbath and had like nice solo career. And actually, he's a man who invented this what people do on the concert.
Yeah, there was a great, you probably saw it. I think it probably was Netflix. There was a documentary on Ronnie James Dio that I watched recently. It was really good.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I should look up.
Yeah, it was either Netflix or Prime, probably Netflix.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was really good. Yeah, that's a concert. I wish I would have seen Black Sabbath. I never saw Black Sabbath, whether it was with Ozzy or Ronnie James Dio. I never got to see them. I never saw Ozzy. So that would be one concert that would be fun to.
Yeah, Ozzy, he is still touring. Yeah, I was like twice, I believe twice on his concert. Yeah, he's in good shape.
Yeah, yeah. Especially when you think about the rough living that many of them had, at least in their younger years.
Yeah.
So, Vitaly, this has been great. I appreciate you sharing with us, sort of behind the mask, a little bit about yourself personally and professionally. So, thank you for being our guest.
And thank you for invitation, Ed.